is up, my friends? You are very welcome along. I'm saying what is up and I'm smiling because I can see in the chat people are writing my intro. That's how predictable I am these days, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a bit of consistency. I hope you're all well. It's it's a cold one today. Certainly where I am. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but very, very cold over here in Ireland. Good afternoon, Craig. How are you feeling? I'm alright, thank you. Keen, I'm alright, my man. Lots to go through over the course of the day. We'll be talking transfers at 8:30, of course. We've pushed forward the preview, so the preview for the game against Bournemouth is going to be coming out at about 6 o'clock. So that's, I hope, some good news. So we'll get that out nice and early. We'll go through what the situation is, or at least what we know about the Mohamed Salah situation at the minute. A little bit on Jordan Henderson, of course, as he confirms his move to Ajax as his first press conference. And a few other bits and pieces. Right, what else we got? Great news from Man City. I mean, sorry, you're talking about Salah being injured. Maybe. It is what it is, you know. We're going to have to get on with it, whatever the case may be. But we don't know yet, so there's no point in really second guessing as to what the extent of it is. It is what it is. You know, we've got to roll with the punches. Florida is in the house. How are we? What is it? 11 a.m. in Florida, my man? Nice to have you in. Appreciate it. I know it's definitely warmer over where you are than it is where I am at the moment. That's a gimme, I think. Right, let's get stuck into it anyway. So, there's a couple of bits and pieces to go through early doors. But firstly, just want to say commiserations to Endo. He didn't win today. They lost 2-1 against Iraq, if I'm not mistaken. Endo did score a consolation goal at the end, though. But a mixed bag so far for Japan in the tournament. 1 win, 1 loss, but I'm sure they're still in a decent position to qualify anyway. As I was starting earlier on, I noticed that it was 3-0 to Cape Verde in their game against Mozambique. So that will see Cape Verde top the group Egypt's in. But there is still a chance for Mo and Egypt to qualify with the last game still to come up. So that's where we are with the boys who are away playing international football at the minute. But here's an interesting one, guys. I know it's 4:03 in Dublin, dude. I'm only down the road. So that distracted me. I was like, what? Does he think I'm over in Florida or something? Did you guys see that Jordan Henderson's Ajax shirt has already become the fastest selling shirt in the club's history? And that's what, 24 hours? If even? Henderson 6 has now become the fastest selling shirt in Ajax history. That's crazy. I'm not saying it's crazy because Hendo's crap or at, and I just mean, wow, that's a really big thing to happen in the space of 24 hours. So obviously the move's gone down well with the supporters over in Ajax. So yeah, Amsterdam seems to be feeling a bit of Hendo so far. But I know it's crazy, right? I couldn't believe it when I seen it earlier on. And that comes in from Ajax Life via Transfer Sector. They say Jordan Henderson's shirt is already the fastest selling player shirt in Ajax history. Now, I'm assuming they're not talking about Cruyff shirts because, you know, they're forever. You know, everybody's going to buy a Cruyff shirt and going to keep forever. So I'm assuming they mean player shirts that are actually plying their trade. Because there's no way he's outselling Johan Cruyff, let's be honest. It's great to see Endo on the score sheet for his country, not good enough from his team. Well, it's unfortunate that they didn't get the win. But look, we'd expect Japan to go deep in that tournament. They're the defending champions. So let's see what the rest of the tournament has in store. So there's been a few little bits and pieces today regarding players being linked to Liverpool or not. Another one from Jurgen Klopp talking about midfield from Atlanta. And we'll talk about that tonight. But I want to give you exactly what Jurgen Klopp said when he was talking about the Mohamed Salah injury situation. This is the exact wording from Kloppo. He said, "We don't know anything. We spoke last night and there was an assessment. We'll do that and we'll know more. At that moment, he was shocked and couldn't see why he was hit by something so intense. He felt it and he didn't know. Rarely Mo goes off, so it's definitely something. But I don't have any more info. There will be an ultrasound and an MRI and then we will see." So that's what we're just going to have to wait and see. That's exactly, like with these things, it's always going to be 24, 48 hours before you start to get the extent of, or whatever the extent of it is. So an ultrasound and an MRI will have to be done on Mo, and then we'll know more information from there. I guess we'll know before the next game for Egypt anyway, because, you know, if he's not on the pitch, we'll know there's something up. ATL's in the house. How are we, man? All the way over in Atlanta. It's I've only ever been there on layovers, but I did buy my first Atlanta United shirt in the airport over there. Craig, would Kwanzaa be our long-term replacement for VVD, or do we buy a new player? I think it's too early to say. I mean, hopefully Kwanzaa would be the answer. That's absolutely the plan, I would gather. But, you know, you need 4 or 5 centre-backs. So with Matip's contract up, no matter what happens, we're going to have to look at a centre-back, at least in the summer, if not now. Don't want an injury crisis, or excuse me, don't we have an injury crisis of note right now? Not really. Would you call it an injury crisis? I don't know if I'm mellowing here, lads, or what, but I don't know I'd call this an injury crisis. We've got players out, but they're coming back soon, and that's the positive spin on it. So Robbo, Costas, Trent, Szoboszlai, that's 4 that we know will be back within 2 weeks. So that's 4 strong players back in. Matip, he's out for the rest of the season no matter what happens. Thiago, I say he'll probably be back within the next 3 or 4 weeks as well. Bajcetic, I just don't know about. I don't think any of us really know about. So outside of that, I don't know. Would call it an injury crisis. It's just a tricky moment. Is probably like it would be worse if we were looking at these players who have still 2-3 months to run. Like if Robbo was only starting a shoulder injury now and stuff, then yeah, I'd be more concerned. But the break has probably done us a little bit of good. Having 11 days without a game has probably been beneficial to us. It allows the lads to recoup and rehab a little bit more. Who's the front and midfield 3 for Sunday? Well, Paul, I am recording the preview. It's going to be out at 6, so I don't want to give away the team just yet. But safe to say I'll be putting Diaz on the right wing. You know, that's where I'm at. And we'll talk about it more tonight, of course, when the cat's been out of the bag and I've let my team selection out and stuff like that. I'm happy to run through it later on at 8:30. I just don't want to ruin the video by giving you my team selection now. But I tell you what, I'm not expecting an easy game on Sunday. Not at all. I think we're going to have to make sure we're at it to beat Bournemouth. You know, they're in good form. And Dominic Solanke's absolutely flying. Iriola's got them feeling like they understand the system, and it's apparent that they finally get it and they're starting to put together some decent performances. So it won't be easy. 4:30 is the kickoff time on Sunday as well, by the way. What's my team of the year? You know what? I keep meaning to make that video, dude, and I keep forgetting about it. So that's on me, but I will get it done soon. Because you're right, I need to do it. I need to do a team of the year. And I keep forgetting about it. Diaz right wing sounds like a strong move. Well, I'm a man who makes strong moves. So there you go. I wish I could pick the team. But yeah, look, ultimately it'll be down to Jurgen. And I think we'll see one or two things. Either Diaz will be on the right wing or Elliott will be on the right wing again. It'll be one of those two, I'd imagine. Who do you think wins between the Chiefs and the Bills? Funny you say that, Danny. I was putting my little weekend NFL bets on last night. And that is certainly the game to spark the interest for the weekend, right? Who do I think wins? I think Josh Allen and the Bills win because this is the first time Mahomes has had to go on the road in the playoffs. And there's something about Josh Allen at the minute. He just has that dog in him. He finds a way, whether it's a 52-yard run to the end zone, as you've seen in the last game, where he just absolutely just took it on his own shoulders. But then again, you know, with Josh Allen, you could have 3 interceptions in the first quarter. Knowing him, you don't know what to expect, but it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that game. That's the last one of the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. That's late Sunday night into Monday. Bournemouth are really good this season. Tierney on VAR, so it'll not be easy at all. Yeah. So for those of you who aren't aware, Paul Tierney is on VAR. I think Andy Madley is the referee for the game of the weekend. Tierney will be in the VAR hub, so like I said before, I'll say it again. For me, we're going into this game almost -1 before we get underway. So it's not great. I hate seeing Tierney's name in the VAR. And then, of course, we have Mr. Hooper to look forward to for the semi-final against Fulham. Simon Hooper is going to be the ref on Wednesday. But at least now we've got 3 games in a week coming up pretty much. And we can get back into the rhythm and the swing of it. So Bournemouth, then Fulham. Then, who's the next one after that? It's not Chelsea yet, is it? Who's the one after Fulham? It's not, is it Burnley? Who's the next game after Fulham? I know we've got Chelsea last day of the month. Oh, the FA Cup game against Norwich. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. I forgot the FA Cup game was squeezed in. So, right, so then it's... Then we've got Chelsea. Then we've got Arsenal on the 4th. So, yeah, some difficult games coming up. At least we'll get a chance to rotate a little bit in the FA Cup, and I would imagine that Jurgen will rotate for the FA Cup in all honesty. I'm back. WWE shouldn't I said you wrote WWE, and I was like very confused for a moment there, Sandra. I won't lie. You meant to write we, but you wrote WWE, and I was like, why would Vince McMahon be underestimating Bournemouth? Yeah, we shouldn't. You're right. They're a good team, and I'm definitely not underestimating them. There's no really easy games in the Premier League, unless it's United. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Even at that, though, we made a mess of it, didn't we? I forgot about the FA Cup as well. Bills Chiefs is 11:30 p.m. your time. Sweet, perfect. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be a belter. Links from Real Madrid, Liverpool, Man United, Gonzalo and Ashley. We're not talking transfers, hey Sean, till 8:30, buddy. The 4 p.m. stream is the news stream. The 8:30 one is the Get Your Mbappe's Out for the Lads. And maybe we should call that a stream title one of the days, just to wind people up a bit more. Get Your Mbappe's Out for the Lads. Get your Mbappe's out for the lads. I went to sleep last night, and I'm not going to lie, fully convinced myself that it's possible. Which academy lads do you rate? Bradley. I've always been a fan of Bradley. People that watch know that. Kwanzaa. You got to rate Kwanzaa. Jones. I don't really call Elliot. Elliot didn't come through the academy, so we can't be talking about him as an academy product. Cade Gordon. I rate highly as well. I hope he can just... Although we brought him in from Derby, so again, you know, it's a stretch. But I guess all these guys came in, whether it was 15, 16 or 17. Beck looks promising. Luke Chambers looks promising. But these guys need to get experience as well, which is the really tough balancing act, isn't it? When you're a team like Liverpool fighting on four fronts, there's only so many opportunities I guess you can really give. Now, I did see a stat yesterday that I forgot to mention. And Liverpool have used the fewest number of players in the Premier League so far. What I think is it 29 players Liverpool have used so far this season? It's 29 or 27, something around that. But yeah, Liverpool using the fewest players so far in the Premier League, squad-wise, which you would not expect, right? It would be funny if Origi went to Inter Miami considering he's linked to the MLS. Oh, can you imagine, Tom? Big Divock showing up and Messi asking for his autograph immediately. Oh, there's definitely a 4 Tunes episode in that, isn't there? Origi rocking up to Inter Miami, asking the lads to get out of the way. The real go has arrived now. Anybody want to take a quick corner? What, Leo? What? Can you imagine it? Oh, lads, the bands would be all absolutely off the wall. Divock strolling in. The god that he is walking in, looking at Messi, little snigger as he walks by. All right, little lad, what's the story? Oh, yes, that would be awesome. Oh, I'd pay. I'd buy an MLS pass just for that. Just to watch the GOAT and Messi on the same pitch. That would be amazing. Messi about to have a Vietnam-style flashback. Absolutely. What's wrong, Leo? $23 sorry man, 23 players, that was it. I knew it was something small, but I didn't think it was... Actually, 23 is ridiculous. I didn't think it was going to be that low. 23 is mad. Wow. Just 23 players, that's crazily low. Pretty sure Miami has the max foreign players already. Don't ruin the joke, mate. Don't be that guy. Don't be ruining the jokes. They'll always make... If Divock wants to go to Inter bleeding Miami, then to Inter bleeding Miami, Divock shall go. If they need to rewrite the rules in the MLS for Divock, then they'll rewrite the rules, because Divock does what Divock wants. Do you think Thiago will play for us again? I do, but I don't know. I'll say I do, but I don't know if he'll have an impact, if that makes any sense. Like, will he play a game again? Like, will he play an FA Cup game, as an example, if we got a pretty handy draw in the next round? Maybe. Would he come on as a substitute for 2025? Perhaps. Do I think he plays in a big game versus Man City at home, as an example? Not a bleeding chance. No, I don't think so. Do your starting 11 for Bournemouth. Video coming out at 6 o'clock, Sagar, with exactly that, mate. Recording the preview after this stream, and it will be out at 6 o'clock. I've already sent Connor my team selections and all that stuff. How long is Salah out for? We don't know. Nobody knows. Klopp did his press conference today ahead of the Bournemouth game, and he said that they have to wait for an ultrasound and an MRI to see what the extent of Mohamed Salah's situation is. He said, we don't know anything. We spoke last night and there was an assessment. They will do that and then we'll know more. At the moment, he was shocked and couldn't see why he was hit by something so intense. So there you go. We don't know. Nobody knows just yet, but we're hopeful because you probably seen the video last night. Maybe you didn't, of him walking through the mix zone after the game, and he looked upbeat. And I didn't see any sign of a limp when he was walking, really, and he had a smile on his face. So they're surely good signs. Obviously, he would have been disappointed to have to come off the pitch the way the situation was, but it ended up 2-2 draw, which leaves an opportunity for them still to go through with the last game. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But it ended up being a pretty good game, that 2-2 by the end of it. I watched the highlights last night. Kudus scored a really good goal. Scored a second goal that took a deflection, and Egypt just kept coming back. It was a crazy 5-6 minute spell. I think there was 3 goals in that time. You need my help. Hit me, man. What can I do for a can? He said, hello, Craig, brother, need your help. Work away, man. Fire it into the chat there. If I can help you, I will, of course. Unless you're looking for money, in which case I was going to ask you the same thing. If we ever manage to win against City, we'll definitely win the league. It will be a big psychological advantage handed to us, yes, if we could beat them at Anfield. Look, I tell you what, I'm going to be very, very, very keenly looking at the officials selection for that game, and I want to see proper referees. I don't want to see Hooper or Atwell or Coote or Tierney anywhere near the game. Nowhere near it. Not even in the same postcode. So happy that Ali and VVD got in the team of the year. I must be one of the few Liverpool fans that don't really care about these awards. I really don't. Unless it has something to do with the whole team, I'm not really fussed. It's good for the lads individually, but I don't really pay too much attention to them. I think people get far too emotional, good and bad, over these things. Which is right. I know, coming from me. Yeah, you talking about emotions there, Craig. Go on. Who's a good referee in the Prem? Michael Oliver. I think he's probably the pick of the bunch. I personally am too bad about Anthony Taylor, although some people feel very differently. Look, statistically, Tierney's the one to watch out for if you're talking about Liverpool and referees. Again, I'll just direct you towards that brilliant Paul Tompkins piece in the Tompkins Times, which gives you all the information about Tierney and Liverpool. Any tips for Cheltenham? Don't bet on horses. I don't know anything about them. I look at horse race and I see far too many variables for me, so I've always stayed clear of it. And I don't know anything about horse racing either, so I wouldn't bet on something I've no idea about. Who was the last Liverpool player to win the Ballon d'Or? I want to say Michael Owen. Yeah, I think off the top of my head, I'm saying Michael Owen, but yeah, I think that's the answer. What's your view on starting Núñez or Jota up front? Why is it an or question? Like, there's every chance that we could put Darwin on the left, Diaz on the right, and Gakpo, Jota, or somebody through the centre. Michael Oliver uses jazz hands. Well, he can't be bad then, Liz. If he uses jazz hands, he just cannot be bad. Would you take Benzema if we signed him in a short-term deal? Absolutely not. No way, no chance, no. Pass, thank you, no. I don't like short-term deals. I don't want us to be that club. And look, let's be honest. If he was going to come to the Premier League, it's almost certain that Todd Bowley would be there just, like a strip club, just making it rain, whereas Benzema's here giving it all the whoop whoop, go on Todd. Yeah, it very much strikes me as a short-term Todd Bowley Chelsea-esque type signing. Although I did see yesterday somebody mentioned Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. Is Mo on the way back to Liverpool? No need for that yet. That's you need to see what the extent of his injury is, and then I guess the club and Egypt will make a decision. Like, if Mo, let's say, has a 3-week return date, you would imagine that'll be the end of his tournament and he'd come home. But if it's a couple of days or a week, he'd hang around with the Egyptian team. Obviously might miss their last group game, but we'd stay there with the lads at the competition because there's a chance you could play for the part if they get through. Who's a better passer, De Bruyne or Trent? De Bruyne. Look, let's put Trent into the same areas of the pitch and then we can maybe have the conversation. But you got to look at, the body of work from these two gentlemen, and I would just say De Bruyne at the minute because we've got a better range. With Trent in the position he's in, it's often a pretty long range pass to do it through. But some of my favourite De Bruyne passes are the ones from one side of the box to the far post. You know the ones I'm talking about? But look, if you've got either of those dudes spreading balls around on a football pitch, it's going to make you happy. So did I miss that dude's question? Do you know the dude that said he wanted my help on something? Have I missed it? I'm trying to scroll back through just to see in case I missed the dude's question. Chelsea will give Benzema an 8-year deal. I think as far as I'm aware, he's gone straight back to the Saudi Pro League. That was the chat last night anyway, that he's not leaving the league. So let's wait and see what happens there. Do you think 115 charges against City, if any, will stick? Yes. None of us can sit here and say I think every single charge is going to stick. I don't. I would fully expect that any good legal team would find a way to get around at least some of them. But ultimately, it's going to be a very difficult thing to disprove 115 separate charges. But this is taking up way too much talking time, Paul, for all of us over a very long period of time. Let's just hurry up and get to the point where we know what the situation is. It'd be nice if we just knew that date for a start, wouldn't it? The date that Richard Masters was talking about but couldn't publicly let people know. Faraz Khan said, how are Frimpong and Messi over Trent, Alexander-Arnold and Salah in the team of the year? I don't know, but I wouldn't overly concern myself with it. What does it matter? Some people make these decisions or are voted for by whatever, but does it really matter? Like, what we think of Trent and Salah should be the only important aspect here for us. And we know they're both absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. These are just PR exercises, these award shows and stuff like that. We all know that the best players and the best team, the best coach, they've never always got their credit. And there's some politics involved in this stuff, so I don't really concern myself with it. I guarantee the date will be after City win the Champions League. Well, yeah, it'll be next year, David, by the looks of it. At least next season. Don't know exactly when, but the thought process amongst the media has been you're talking another year at the very least. And that's what annoys me. How many more trophies do we have to look at them win before we might find out that they shouldn't have been allowed to win any of them? And the longer it goes on and the more they win, I think the more we all get angry about it. Because, it's like watching an under 14 game of football and a fella shows up with a full beard, sideburns, big deep voice, 6'4", 240 pounds, just monstrous dude. And we're like, yeah. El Gandalf over here, he's 14, just turned 14 as well. And we're all supposed to just stand there and go, yeah, Gandalf's definitely 14. I don't know why he's called Gandalf, by the way. Don't ask me, I didn't christen him. Do you think Hendo's regretting leaving? Well, no. And I don't have to think that because Hendo said he doesn't regret anything. He doesn't regret the decisions he made for him and his family. He doesn't regret any of it by the sounds of it. Although he does have a half-arsed, mealy-mouthed apology if anybody was offended by what he did. If. Big ifs there. He didn't mean to offend anyone, but if anybody was offended, then he mealy-mouthedly half-arsed apologised. But nope, his own wording. He's not at all displeased with how it worked out. So, look, it's his life. He's every right to live it how he sees fit. Just as we have every right to give our own opinions on what we think of it. But ultimately, He is now an Ajax player and he will be there until 2026, I believe. Do we think that if Salah is injured, we could potentially bring in Mbappe in this window? Absolutely zero chance. Not 1%. Nothing. Don't even entertain it in this window. It's not going to happen. PSG won't let it happen. For it to happen in this window, we'd have to agree a fee. Now, look, there is maybe a train of thought to say, would PSG rather get some money than no money? I don't know, because money's not really that important to PSG. I think we figured that much out. So yeah, no, we won't be leaving in this window. We'll see through the season with PSG, and then whatever happens, happens. There was a meme on TikTok showing Hendo highlights at Al Ettifaq. It's a clip of him passing the ball, and then it cuts to him leaving on a plane. Look, I'm fed up talking about Henderson, to be honest. We've done all the talking we need to do about Jordan Henderson. He'll always be very much highly thought of for what he achieved on the pitch with Liverpool. That's fair. He captained us to a league title, he captained us to a European Cup, and that makes him a Liverpool legend without any hesitation. But some of us feel annoyed by what happened. Some people don't. Again, this is absolutely fine. But right now, we have a season with a lot of trophies still to play for, and he's over in Amsterdam playing his football. Fair play to him, but I'm more focused on what we're doing with the boys that we currently have and any transfers that we might like to make. Did you see the results of Hendo's medical at Ajax? Per guy is a serious case of damaged ego. No, I didn't see it. I did say to you guys at the start of the stream, though, his jersey is already the biggest selling player shirt in the history of Ajax, which is, testament, I guess. Do you ever think, I often wondered this myself, Harry Kane as an example, Jordan Henderson as an example, people that would have been at the very top of the English game. Do you ever think that, how do I phrase this question? It seems to be a very big deal when a Harry Kane or a Jordan Henderson or a top English player, let's even talk about Trippier when he went to Atletico Madrid, that a lot of these guys are a bigger deal outside of England than they are inside of England, if you get me. Everybody knows Harry Kane's a goal scoring machine, but they really seem to be thought of much highly outside of our little bubble that we're used to seeing them in all the time. Example here, Henderson shirt. Straight away, biggest selling shirt in Ajax. And think of the players that have gone through Ajax over the years. For Jordan Henderson to go in there at 33 years of age, and for his shirt to suddenly be the biggest selling, or Harry Kane to go straight over to Germany, you see the headlines in Germany so much about what Kane's achieving and what, having the England captain over in the Bundesliga. I often wonder that at times, do we not take these guys for granted, but do we forget what a big deal they are? I thought it was the biggest sale the first 24 hours. The only information that I've seen, mate, is the Jordan Henderson shirt is already the fastest selling player shirt in Ajax history. That's the only information that I've seen. Craig, I have a question. Do you think the quadruple this year, if we win our next few games? The quadruple. No, I've got to be honest. I don't see it. It would take everything to go right. Look, let's do one thing at a time. The League Cup. Well, we know we're 90 minutes away from Wembley. We know if we don't concede next Wednesday, we're in the final. So that gives you a good chance of that. The Europa League, look, it's knockout competition now. Anything's possible. Depends on how the draw goes. Leverkusen are obviously going to be a team to look at there. But you would have to say we should be, spoken about as the favourites for that competition. FA Cup, again, it'll depend on the draw. The pro side of it is we've seen some draws in this competition now that we'll see a couple of big teams go out because there's two pretty big hitting Premier League ties in there. So we're going to see some teams knocked out of it. So let's see how the next round goes. But the Premier League's the one that... Do you know what, actually, on this? It was probably a slip of the tongue, and I'm not trying to be a shithouse. But I was watching Back Pages last night on Sky Sports because I always watch them from 10:30 when they come on, and I enjoy hearing the thoughts of the journalists around the stories for the next day. But they made a mistake, and I think it was because it's so ingrained in their psyche that they just assume it's true. So what they said is, they were talking about Mohamed Salah, and if he's out injured, what an impact it could have, which is absolutely fair. And then they said, they're going to need Mohamed Salah to chase down Manchester City. And I just thought, you what now? Chase down who exactly? If I'm not mistaken, people at the top of the league don't chase down anybody. They are chased down, or you try to chase us down. But it just gave me a little insight into thinking, they're all just so ingrained of thinking of City as champions elect that they assume, like subconsciously, that they're top of the league still, and everybody else has to catch them up. And I hope, and I know, that isn't going to be the attitude inside Liverpool's dressing room, because that's a very weak mentality if that's the case. But look, we're top of the league. People need to worry about us for the moment. Now look, the league's tight. It can change very quickly. And with the games we have coming up, who's to say, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Arsenal. If we get through those 3 games with maximum points, that is some accomplishment in all honesty. I think we've a very good chance of getting to the Arsenal game, having beaten Chelsea and Bournemouth, but that's going to be a tough game. I know we beat them in the FA Cup, but it's a different animal in the league. I think that's going to be a massive one in our season, and I won't lie, I take a draw right now. Look, you want to win, but if you said to me you get 7 points from these 9, and one of them's a draw against Arsenal, and the reason I say it's important to get the draw against Arsenal is it doesn't let them have a flip, have a quick catch up of them getting 3 points, you getting none. If you both get 1, you drop points, City close in, but 7 points from 9 wouldn't be too bad. What do you think will happen now that Salah is hurt? Nothing. Because we don't know if he's hurt. It was a precaution, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. I don't want to sit here and predict what may or may not happen, because we truly just don't know. But look, if we're without Mo for a prolonged period, we're going to have to figure it out. There's no other choice. We can't lie down, roll over. Klopp will do what he does, which is tweak the team and try to grind out the wins. That's all you can do. George said 14 points out of a possible 18 in our next 6 Premier League games is my prediction, with 4 wins and 2 draws. What if he's out for months? What if he's back tomorrow? Why? There's no point in, people who torture themselves with worst case scenarios, just don't let yourself think that way, because it doesn't look like it'll be a long injury. If I was putting a few quid on the table to bet about it, nothing about that situation looks like it's long term. So what I mean by that is, he was upset when he went off, but as I said, looking at him going through the mix zone, he looked okay. He didn't have a limp. He looked in good spirits. We just have to wait and see what the scan results say. Quadruple Salah and Endo winning the AFCON, the Asia Games. One of our boys win the Euros. Copa America is confirmed for one of our players. And then one of our boys wins the Ballon d'Or. Sounds absolutely fine for us. Sounds reasonable to me. What would Mbappe's salary be if we bought him? So the reports is about 500, so something like 530, 540 grand a week, sterling after tax, is what's been mentioned from the Madrid and Liverpool angle. PSG, $1 million a week euro after tax, I think, has been spoken about. But I think if you're talking about Mbappe to anyone, wherever it's going to be, you're not looking at the basic salary. You're going to figure out where the real opportunity to earn is, which will probably be in side deals or commercial partnerships, bonuses, like Mohamed Salah's deal. We think of it as 350 grand a week, but we know that our contracts are usually quite incentivized, so if the players do well, then there's usually a good bit of add-ons on those deals, and that's fair enough. It's a good way to do contracts. Craig, concerning VAR, I feel VAR people are affecting the ref's decisions by giving their opinion to the ref. They should say nothing, just ask the ref to go to the screen and judge himself. So there's a couple of things in the VAR process, KK, that I think a lot of us don't like. Like you've said, I'd like to hear, let's say it's Anthony Taylor who's the ref. Anthony, we think you should go, mate, and have another look at the monitor there. We're setting it up here for you now. Come across and take a look. And then I think it should be shown, whatever it is, unless it's a challenge that's right on the edge of the penalty area, in which case they may have to look at slow-mo to see if the challenge was inside or outside. So that is one case I feel like slowing down and showing the ref a slow-mo is justified. Outside of that, I would like to see the referee go over to the monitor, and these are small changes that I think would make a difference. So let's say when the ref goes to the monitor, he's just met with the purple VAR image and nothing else. And only when the boys in the VAR hub have it at the point they want to show the ref, does the ref see it in real time. Not this still image when the ref goes to the monitor and then they rewind it back a bit and then they play it in slow motion. No, let the ref see it at full speed from whatever the best angle is that they've figured out behind the scenes, and then show it to the ref in full speed and then show him other angles if he needs it. They're changes that I'd like to see. Not go over, as we've seen before, freeze frame of what looks like Curtis Jones trying to break someone's knee, where in all honesty his foot just rolls over the top of the ball and there was nothing to it. Small changes like that would make sense to me. How are you doing? It's Alva from Seychelles. Oh, very jealous. Seychelles, wow. Hello, Alva. Hope you're well. Again, everybody coming in asking about the Salah injury. We've gone through it 5 times so far, and you know, it's just as Klopp said in his presser. We're going to have to wait for an MRI and an ultrasound, and then we'll know results. Until then, that's the only information anybody can give you, unless they're liars. And there's always lying pieces of shit in these. Like, you look around and people will preempt, and people will try to say, because they want clicks, so they go, oh, Salah out for 6 weeks. And then people will go, oh, what? Salah's out for 6 weeks? And then it'll start spreading like wildfire on social media. But it's all going to be nonsense. So I don't want to be part of that game. So we don't know. We have to wait and see. All of this manipulation of VAR clips has ruined the game. It's a disgrace, George, mate. It's an absolute disgrace. That's nothing to add. It's a disgrace. Hoping Mo would recover as soon as possible. Yeah, absolutely. Anything they want on Mbappe? Not at 4 o'clock, there isn't. Anything on Mbappe is clearly a 8:30 conversation, sir. From Los Angeles, Savag, how are we? Your prediction for the weekend? I'm recording it, and it'll be out at 6 o'clock, my friend. Yeah, we always put them out at about 6 o'clock. We're going to do starting 11 prediction, score prediction, injury update, all that stuff will be in the preview coming out at 6. Right, couple of bits and pieces. I need your help, and I mean I need your help. So listen up, if you'd be so kind. So the live show, and I want to give a shout out to our sponsors as well, by the way. Oosh, they have launched a brand new website with more of the best. They're growing so quickly, our friends at Oosh, that they've launched a brand new website that can handle the traffic that they need. So don't forget, you can get yourselves over to Oosh and get 10% off any of the Anfield Agenda, or excuse me, any of the competitions over there with the Anfield Agenda discount code. And if you don't know who Oosh are, they're the home of giveaways, whether it's cars, cash tech, holidays, or those all-important Liverpool, Man United and other football club packages. Oosh have got you covered. You can get 10% off any of the Oosh draws with our discount code AA10. Put that in a checkout. Whether it's cash they're giving away, tech as I've said, holidays, cars, Oosh have it covered. So check them out. New website just launched this week. And again, thank you to Oosh for their support. Right, so I need your help. As you can see on the screen, Anfield Agenda in Boston, March 22nd. Now, anybody that is in that part of the world that can help me out with reaching out to a supporters club over there, or local radio stations over there, or football clubs over there, or colleges over there. Obviously, we want to try and raise awareness of the show and get as many people down as possible. Even if it means comping tickets for some of these people to come in. I just want it to be a fun experience for everyone. Talking about Liverpool, having a good show. So if anybody can help us out, and you've got any suggestions of who we can hit up in Boston, local radio stations, supporters clubs, colleges, any of that stuff, much appreciated if you could just email us, contact@anfieldagenda.com, contact@anfieldagenda.com. And if you're in that neck of the woods and you want to come see us, you can find the tickets on Ticketmaster. Just search Anfield Agenda on there and it should show up. It's March 22nd. But sincerely, if anybody can help me out, because I'm trying to do a bit of a PR run for it and I want to reach out to some supporters clubs and stuff like that. Now, obviously, I can find a Liverpool supporters club in Boston. That's not going to be a problem. But any of your help would be much appreciated. Love the channel. Thank you, Ronald. You're very kind, mate. From India. Though it was a massive loss, we're not going to go down easily. We'll fight till the last point. Absolutely, Shiva. 100% we will. Look, we know that this group doesn't roll over and give up and won't feel sorry for themselves. So if Mo is out for a bit and we don't know, we'll keep on trucking, as they say. What are you going to do when Endo runs wild on you? Absolutely, Dan. Endomania is currently taking over the Asia Cup, mate. But he scored today, though, in their 2-1 loss, which was a bit of a consolation goal, but still good to see Endo doing bits. Craig, I'm from Massachusetts. I'll try to help out. So much appreciated, Josh. Honestly, mate, any little bits of info like that, because that we could reach out to these guys. Because look, one of the hardest things about these type of things, of course, is letting people know that you're going to be there, you know, that the show exists, and just trying to get people in. That's it's not even about the ticket sales. As I said, I don't mind comping tickets to people on this. I want it to be a fun evening for everyone, and the more the merrier. So it's not these live shows we do are never about money. I don't care if we lose money on them. It's just about the experience of meeting fellow Reds from different parts of the world. So if anybody can help us out with that, please reach out. Contact at anfieldagenda.com. Christian, always a pleasure to see you in the chat, my friend. And Christian, I'm not going to lie, dude. Every time I see your image come up on the screen, I look and I go, oh, fellow Baldy. But then I feel very jealous because your beard game is top notch and I've got no beard game. I'd love a beard game, mate. Your beard game's top notch. I wish I could grow a beard, Christian. Maybe a little trip to Turkey in the future. Greetings from the US. Hope you're well. I'll be sadly missing your live show. I have family coming out from out of town. Hope you're well. Sadly, I'll be missing the live show. I have family coming in. Mate, that's no problem whatsoever. I'm hoping to be in Vegas in October, but not for any work reasons. Just to go over and spend some time with my friend Brian. So we're going to hit up Vegas in October. So if anybody's around that neck of the woods and wants to meet up for dinner, while we're over there, hit me up as well. I can give you those details closer to the time. But thank you, Christian. And it will be my pleasure to meet someday, mate, and say hello. Right, Craig, I can't believe VAR has been against twice Spurs and Arsenal. We would have had a bit more clear top of the table. I know. And the Spurs one really riles me because that's the only game we've lost. And yeah, so that one really sticks in the throat. The Arsenal one, yeah, look, still, I can't believe it. I can't believe I have to sit there and watch Howard Webb talk about another wrong decision and a kind of, oh, whoopsies. No, Howard, we got screwed again, mate. And the VAR protocols were shocking for that if you heard the audio. Mohamed Salah's injury has been played down by those close to the Egypt camp as Liverpool await an official update. Unlikely to feature against Cape Verde, but a few fears it's not serious. And that's Paul Gorst on X. Thank you, Mansour. Look, we hope it isn't serious. Look, a week or so makes sense. If he misses the Cape Verde game, that would be probably sensible, in all honesty, giving him as much time as possible to recover. And I know it would be kind of rolling the dice for Egypt. But Cape Verde are already through on top of that group as well. So you would imagine there might be a little few changes from Cape Verde anyway. So maybe it'll be a more straightforward game for Egypt. I certainly know if I was in Cape Verde's position and I'd already topped the group with 2 wins from 2, I'd be resting players ahead of the knockout stage in the next round. 100%. Jamaica fans are in the house. Meet out, said love from Jamaica. Oh, mate, it's been far too long. I was in Jamaica once, just on a cruise, so it was a very quick stop. But what we did is we jumped in a taxi and just spent 3 hours driving around the area, and it was class. Beautiful, beautiful part of the world. Is there a point to Howard Webb's VAR show? It's just like admitting a crime over and over, nothing changes. I can't say that I haven't thought similarly. Is there a point to it? No, not really. Other than listening to Michael Owen's monotonous voice non-stop. See, the reason I don't like it is I don't feel that the questions that the fans want answered are being answered. So here's a quick suggestion to the Mic'd Up show. Get in a few comments from actual football fans on these decisions that they're going to cover. Because Michael Owen doesn't press enough for my liking on the decisions. He doesn't push back against Howard Webb anywhere near enough for my liking. So I'd like to see somebody who actually has a pair, or a lady who has a pair, step up and ask them questions properly. Because Michael Owen, it just feels like a pat on the back for everybody. You know, job well done. If that's explained now, we can move on. We'll be back next week to apologise again, but we can move on. I go through Vegas about twice a week, so definitely let me know. Sweet. Absolutely. Will, Christian. Yeah, Vegas looks like it's in the books, honestly, for October. The wife's already given me the go-ahead. So hopefully try and take in a Raiders game, but we have to wait for the schedule to be announced for that, but I will indeed let you know. Christian, thank you. Might as well have Jeremy Kyle running the VAR, said George. No, but see, they'd probably get it right. I'd have more faith in Jeremy Kyle. Usopp, thank you, mate. Welcome in. What else we got? Why have the teams in the league been taken hostage by the PGMOL? If they cannot do their job properly, find an entity that can. At this point, I'm surprised the PGMOL have not been sued. So, I've often thought similar, Darkness. Now, obviously as fans, we're emotional, right? And we're reactive and we're often over the top. But there is something to what you're saying. Why is it that these officials are having way too big an influence on the outcomes of games? And why is it that football is seemingly trying to rule out as many goals as they can? And why is it that for somebody who's watched football for 34 years now, 35 years actually, why is it that I, a 35-year veteran of watching football and playing it, don't know what the handball rule is? Sounds embarrassing to say that, but I thought I knew what it was. I used to know what it was, but now I don't know what it is because it seemingly changes from one week to the next, or depending on what humour the VAR is in. Because if I'm supposed to sit here and listen to those officials telling me that Odegaard was moving his body back towards his hand so everything's cool, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Does that mean I can go around flappy arms all the time and as long as I'm bringing my arms back towards my body, it doesn't matter? No, I'm sorry, it's not good enough. Why specifically this season has it all gone downhill with VAR? Because they keep tweaking the rules. If you want rules to include technology, my suggestion would be rewrite the football rules. Because as it is, it's a bit of a hodgepodge and you're trying to make stuff fit. But the biggest crime in all of the VAR stuff is that one phrase. That's the thing that makes my blood boil. The clear and obvious. It is the most open-ended nonsense I've ever heard of. Because there is no definition of what's clear and obvious. It is just an open-ended, open to interpretation, blasé, meh. So it doesn't do anything. All it does is give them a get out of jail free card when they shit the bed. That's all it means. Didn't hit the threshold. What is the threshold? Don't know. Because let's be honest, nobody knows. The refs don't know. VAR doesn't know. The managers don't know. The players don't know. The fans don't know. Nobody knows. But they can trot it out whenever they want. Also, this situation of if the ref doesn't give it and it's still wrong, like the handball, if it doesn't meet that threshold of clear and obvious, then they won't tell the ref to overrule it. But if the ref doesn't give it, if the ref does give it, then they're far more likely to say, we think you got it wrong. I think you'll agree with me on that. So if there's a mistake made and the ref's given a penalty, they've no problem if they think it's not a penalty, saying to the ref, we think that's not a penalty. So go look at it. But if it isn't given, and they look at it, it's not as often that they go, ref, we think we get the whole, not clear and obvious enough, stay with the on-field decision. And that annoys me, because again, it's a difference of the rule. The worst part is they changed the rules the same time VAR was coming out as a tool. They changed them again. Do you remember why it was brought out? It was brought out to stop all of us having to argue. It was brought out because we thought this would be the end of you debating with your mates down the pub about whether somebody was on or offside or whether it was or wasn't this. All it's done now is just make a little industry, make a cottage industry out of VAR. Now we're having to see Darren McGallagher, Howard Webb, Mike Dean trotting out their opinions every week and shouting at people saying they don't know the rules of the game. So all it's done is make little celebrities out of these guys and give more power to the people to impact the outcomes of games. And it's not conducive to the way football's played. Again, for me, the change of the guard moment was with Ange Postecoglou when he spoke about the game not being as free-flowing anymore and it being way too stop-start and it hindering his team in the way they want to play because they want to get the ball down, move it fast and play the game at a fast pace. So that was a moment for me where I thought, yeah, I'm with Ange on this. You're wrong, Craig. It's because Liverpool are involved in the title race. It feels a bit, dubious when we've played two big games against two different teams from London at moments where they're both at the top or in a title race, very close to the top, and we've had shenanigans in both games. How can you not put on your tinfoil hat and think that it's intentional? I think we've every right to feel like we're certainly free to question what's happening. Hello from South Africa, Liverpool supporter since the 70s. How are we, Links? Welcome in, my man. Any Mbappe news? Yeah, probably at 8:30. We can't be doing the Mbappe news early doors, mate. That's the transfer news is 8:30. I can't grow a proper beard. It's packed to look like a homeless bum. That's kind of me as well. I can get a goatee. That's it. A goatee is about the extent of my beard growth. According to footy headlines, the Big Six and Newcastle will have a fourth kit next season. I don't know what to say, mate. I don't know what to say, Sandra, because I'm from a generation that when I was growing up watching football, they rotated the kits. So one year they changed the home kit, the next year they changed the away kit. So you always got 2 years out of a shirt. Just look back through Liverpool's history, you'll see those shirts 2 years at a time. Then we got to the point where they were changed every year. Then we got to the point where they were changed every year and there was a European shirt. Then we got to the point where they were changed every year and there was a European shirt and there was a European training kit. Then we got to the point where there was blackout versions of the kits, as well as the away kit, the home kit, and the third kit. Then we got to the point where there's blackout versions of the kits, the away kit, the home kit, the third kit, and then the baseball type kits. Then we got to the point where there was the home kits, the away kits, the third kits, the blackout kits, the baseball kits, and then we had the LeBron James kits. So now you're telling me we've got to add a fourth kit in on top of all of that. Okie dokie. Where are they going to fit in this fourth kit? And what we're gonna wear for? I just more of a money grab, isn't it? And people say to me, "Why aren't you wearing Liverpool jerseys and stuff these days?" There's your answer. I think it's disgusting, the price that everyone's been asked to pay for these very flimsy pieces of garment that costs minuscule amounts of money to make. What's going on with London teams and us getting effed over this season? It's been Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal so far. They didn't pull a fast one in the Fulham match. So I can't remember. Did we get screwed over in this? I can't remember the Chelsea game, mate. And that was the first one of the season and we drew 1-1. But I can't remember what happened in the game. Do you think Liverpool will win the Premier League, said Football Club? I think we can. But I'm not arrogant enough to say we will. Yeah, I think we can win it. But let everybody keep talking us down. I relish that. Let us go about our business quietly. That extra kit's going to pay for Mbappe. Well, then I'm absolutely for that extra kit, Scott. I mean, get out there and buy the extra kit immediately. If it's for Mbappe, then it's got to be done. Oh, the Jackson handball. Yeah, now I remember. Thank you. Probably don't remember that one too much because it was first game of the season. It doesn't feel like we're being shafted because, you know, it's just early doors. But certainly when we went in to play the Spurs game, it was hyped up as, you know, top of the league battle. Spurs, could they win the league on the Ranch Postecoglou? And we went there and we know what happened. Against Arsenal, it was Arsenal, top of the league. Can Liverpool and Arsenal maintain a challenge? Liverpool looked like they were going to win the game and then referee says, no handball, rules don't apply here. So yeah, it sucks. It's nothing quiet about the way Liverpool play this season. We'll win the league. Hopefully. But I don't think any of us can say with certainty we will. But we'll be there or thereabouts. You know. I'm very confident that we're going to be... If City win it... Now, let me put it another way. If City don't win the league, we win it, in my opinion. I think Liverpool have 4 keepers kits. Yellow, black, orange, green. Is there a black one this season? Is there a black one? There's all the other colours. Orange, green. Was black not last season? Should have 5 or 6 more points at least. We've been shafted in every match this season. Well, I can think of at least 4 big decisions off the top of my head that have gone against us. There is a black one. I own it. Said Lehrus. There you go. If City don't win it, everyone wins. Exactly. And that's what I don't get. I don't get how people want City to win the league over us. Or I don't get how people want City to win the league over Arsenal. I don't get it. Oh, the black and green one. Now I remember it. Yeah. Once you mentioned a bit of green on it, I remember. All right, yes. Aston Villa are a force to be reckoned with this season. I wouldn't dismiss them yet. Nah, I'll dismiss them as a title challenger. They're not going to win the league. I hope they get top 4. I'm very fond of Aston Villa. Want them to do well. But they're not winning the league. They're not. Their away form is going to trip them up in that. They were absolutely amazing at Villa Park. But I think they'll be just below. I think they'll be 4th place. Between them and Spurs anyway, I think, for that 4th spot. My grandson is the black goalie kit. Yeah, no, as soon as they were meant to see, I think of it as kind of black and grey with a bit of really bright green on it. But yeah, I like personally this year I like the green one. I think the green one's gorgeous. Right, my friends, I will see you at 8:30. So don't forget, if anybody can help us out with some ways to reach out to some people in and around Boston, do let us know. Again, thank you to Oosh, our sponsors. Don't forget to get yourselves over to oosh.com, the home of giveaways, and you can get yourself 10% off any of the Oosh draws by using the discount code on the screen, AA10. It doesn't matter if it's a football competition or if it's a car cash tech competition. Oosh will allow you to use that code either way. I'm going to record the preview now, which will be out at 6 o'clock, so keep an eye out for that. And then we'll be back tonight at 8:30. We'll be talking about the Bournemouth game. We'll break down the team selection. We'll talk about Mbappe. We'll talk about centre-backs Liverpool have been linked to very strongly today, and a couple of other bits and pieces as well. So thank you for joining me this afternoon, my friends. Don't forget, tomorrow's my day off, so there won't be any live streams. And if I don't see you tonight, then I will see you on Sunday for the watch-along of the game from 3:30. Talk to you then. Bye.